So it was not like a regular like startup 20 group. Like you're around other very successful Ford dealers, and even though that you all are very successful, there's different parts of the business that changes. Like that book, Who Moved My Cheese, and so talk to us about what was it that you heard me say that really kind of flipped the light switch off in you in the BDC.
You were a forward thinker, and I was a forward thinker.
Right.
And I'm watching this industry change, and I'm watching our customers change. And that's really what it came down to. Customers were going here, and lot traffic was starting to go down, and we didn't have the processes in place to really put that all together. So that was, I knew we had to make a change. I knew it was going to be a big change. I knew that I was going to get a lot of resistance with, internally more than externally.
Right.
But I was on a mission. I knew it was the right thing for the organization. And
what I've watched you accomplish is just phenomenal. So
it's not just me. I mean, this has been a huge transition for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So it's not just me. I might get the spotlight here right now, but there's a lot of amazing
you got
people.
an amazing team. I mean, like Steve and just Rob, everybody that's here is just phenomenal, honestly.
Yeah.
And Casey's just really taking the reins and running the department.
We got a great group of people that all have a common goal to build this company, and then in that vessel they can reach their own personal goals. I mean, that's the secret.
I want to kind of case study our experience together. So you met me at an NADA 420 group, one of the top 420 groups in the country. You brought me in and Dealer Synergy to help develop a BDC. And when we started, we did everything from helping you create that business model between the coordinators, the point guards. We helped you with the recruiting, screening, hiring, CRM, training, and support. When we first got the account, I believe the stores were around like 230 units, and your internet department was around 75 units, and you had an internet director, and I think how many people?
Maybe one or two
people.
Yeah.
When we came in, what type of evolution did we do to your store?
Well, we had the idea that we were going to take the marketing and put it into the BDC. Okay, so that was the first evolution, and I want to say resistance, because we were taking internet leads that were handed right to salespeople, okay, phone calls that were going right to salespeople, and putting it in a system, okay. That was it was a major shift. It was a major shift for us internally, and even though it was going to benefit everybody, they didn't like it.
Nope.
Okay, we moved the cheese.
Yes.
Okay, so that was a challenge. You were part of it, and I think as a leader, it's difficult to navigate. And I wasn't ready to just rip the Band-Aid off.
Right.
Okay, you were like, well, we got to do this, and I'm like, well, let's just massage it a little bit, Sean. Okay, I mean, you and I had a lot of
heated conversations.
Yeah, and not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way. It's just a lot of people have been with me for a long time.
Which,
okay?
let me interject, which I respect, because there's some dealers that I talk to that are like, I don't care, get out. Whoa, you don't like it's my way, highway. Where Rob was very, 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 adamant about keeping the culture successful and honoring his people. That's the thing that really impressed me, is that, to not a fault, but to a slow start, because he was
we
really
weren't
protective.
In distress either.
Exactly.
Okay, so we weren't in distress when we made this change. It was a matter, we were doing well. Okay,
right.
The company was doing well.
That's
really
a very
well.
good point too.
Okay, so it was like, okay, what? People are like, why are you doing this? I'm like, because here's where we're at now. To get to here, we're going to have to change something.
Right.
And this is the way the market's going. This is where our customers are going. We got to do this. I mean, something was eating inside of me saying, hey, you need to,
So
keep evolving.
how would you say Dealer Synergy helped you as far as like with all the stuff from the HR, the CRM, the training?
Oh, you guys, I mean, you came in here, you were in here for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days from the start, and then we were on the phone every day. You put the structure in place. I never ran a BDC. I didn't know how to do this on my own. I didn't want to learn how to do it on my own. I mean, that's the truth.
Right.
So I was looking to partner with someone that could, help us with this transition. So I mean, yeah, you guys, you gave me what I was looking for.
And so fast forward, before COVID happened, the department went from 75 to 250. The total store went to, I think, like 350, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Now, what I want to transition now into the whole COVID situation. So, Rob, talk to me about like what was that like? Like, I as a business owner to a business owner, it's got to be crazy having all these people that you're responsible for, like their families, their kids, all this stuff, and a pandemic hits. So, talk to me about that. What was that like when COVID just like hit the United States?
Well, let me paint the picture. You and I were in Las Vegas together at Grant Cardone, and that was February 23rd. We were at the best we've ever been. February, like we were just hitting on all cylinders.
Right.
Okay, the company's setting records. We're just, everybody's happy. We're like, I'm on stage at Grant Cardone talking about just the growth that we've had
In front of thousands of people.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
In front of thousands of people.
So I go home. I'm on top of the world. Like the culture, everything's great. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh no, what the hell's happening? Okay, what's going on? So in a matter of 2 weeks, we went from just on fire to we got to close the doors. And I'm thinking, and they're saying 2 weeks, and I'm thinking, there's no way that this is going to be 2 weeks.
Right.
I mean, I'm reading the writing on the wall, like something's going on, and this is not good. So you can't react fast enough. Wasn't prepared for that.
Right.
I don't think anyone was prepared for
nobody
that.
Was. Nobody.
I mean, I saw that the industry was shifting, but I didn't see that, hey, they're going to come in and close the doors. So we're a pretty large organization, and there's 130 people that worked here at that point in time. Okay. And I'm like, oh my God, what do we do? What do we do? So, and you do the math at that point in time, our expenses were $800,000-900,000 a month when you put it all with personnel, advertising, floor plan, healthcare,
right,
personnel costs. And then we're sitting on inventory that went down in value so quick at that point in time. And I'm thinking, we had $5 million in used car inventory at that point in time. I wasn't worried about the new car, but the used car.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not good.
Right.
I mean, then start doing the math. So, that was the hardest thing I had to do to actually make those decisions. But it was the right thing for the company that we would have something to come back to.
Right.
Unfortunately, it was just, it was 3-4 weeks, and we've been able to bring
but
almost everybody
let's
back.
make the story, like, it's even worse than that, because you had to almost single-handedly battle the governor of Pennsylvania. You know how many people were following you because you were like the voice for so many dealers. You were the voice for an industry, because can you talk about that? Like, how crazy the state of Pennsylvania was. On top of the pandemic, they made it worse for business owners.
Well, first of all, you can't pick and choose who's going to win and who's going to lose. Okay. So when the pandemic hit, the first thing I did was like, hey, we need to separate. I don't want customers coming in the building for their safety, for employees' safety. Everybody needs to stay away from each other, wash your hands. I mean, I was fanatic about it. I'm like, no one in the building. Okay. So I bought rented a couple tents. We started conducting business just outside and through the BDC prior to that. I knew we could do it. But then they're like, no, you're not essential. Your service department's essential, but you can't sell cars. But then you can go to all these other businesses. And I'm like, well, how does this make any sense?
It doesn't.
And then the governor's sending us letters saying, well, if you can conduct business online, you can do business, but not the car business, because, we don't accept online notaries. I mean, it was the craziest thing it was almost like an agenda saying, hey, well, we're just going to take down the car business around here.
Right.
Because we could do everything. We could do everything remotely with the customer. There's nothing that we can't do with a customer that wasn't remote.
What impresses me is that you were one of the few people that said this isn't right, and you fought to get things changed. Can you share what steps did you take to be able to rectify this?
Well, I was pissed off. Yeah. I mean, first of all, I
was pissed off too.
So I'm like, what can I do? So, I mean, what can you do? So my weapon was social media. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to be outspoken. I'm going to put it out there. It got a lot of momentum. A lot of people supported what I was saying. and we got some movement. I want to say I was a part of that because
You definitely were.
I mean,
That's
I was on the
amazing.
news. I'm like, I'm going to put this out there because this isn't right. I'm not here to hurt anybody. The last thing I want to do is take anyone's health for granted. That's
Right.
actually the first thing I made sure that we did.
Right.
Everyone that was here was comfortable. I'm like, just talk to me. What can we do? Let's work as a group here, okay? And then I'm looking around, and I'm going to the grocery store, and I'm going to Lowe's. All these places are open. The Five Below's open, and it's like you could go to Dunkin' Donuts, but you can't buy a car online at a car dealership.
Right.
I'm like, common sense. This isn't right.
Right.
So I was just outspoken about it. I was speaking my mind, just speaking freely, using the tools that we have today to do that.